6, it's Miss Dyer here with your learning journey. Now you'll remember that this is a 2-week long learning journey that we started on Monday the 22nd of February. And this is our second video in the sequence. And this video is for Wednesday the 24th of February. And this is our PM video. So if you haven't watched this morning's video, the AM video, please go back and do that first. Okay, we're going to start with a recap and then we'll move on to this afternoon's learning. So our learning journey question is, how can I spread hope in my community? We've unpicked and we've thought about what it means to spread hope and who in our community is in need of a little bit of hope at these difficult times. We agreed on our final outcome. So we're going to be writing a letter which includes a piece of artwork to somebody in our community in order to bring them hope and lift their spirits. We also thought about our gateway of expression, and we thought that actually for our letter to have an impact, we're going to have to express ourselves confidently and clearly. So when we are doing our writing, it's going to need to make sense, it's going to need to sound grown up, and it's going to have to make a positive first impression. So it's going to have to be presented correctly with joined up handwriting and the correct spelling. We also thought about our time scale this morning. So when do we need to finish our final outcome by? And we realised that next week we're going to be writing, editing and drafting and then creating our final letter ready for Thursday the 4th of March. And we will finish on Friday the 5th with our reflection. Okay, so let's get ready for this afternoon. Now, this afternoon we're going to be building on the thinking that we started this morning. So this morning we were thinking about how confident do we feel about answering this question and achieving our outcome. And I rated myself as a 4 out of 10. And you'll remember that I said I'm not very confident because I'm not sure about how to spread hope in a letter. And I thought that I need to think about who I'm writing to and what will bring them hope. And then I thought to myself, well, actually I could research ways of spreading hope by listening to speeches, music, or finding out about inspiring people. And that's exactly what we're going to do this afternoon. So let's begin by getting our page ready. Please turn to a brand new clean page in your learning journey. At the top of that page, please write our title, How Did the Queen's Speech Spread Hope, and today's date. And on the right hand side of your page, you'll need to set up your thinking column. Take your time to check the spelling in the question, to check that you've got a capital letter for how, a capital letter for queen, and that you've used an apostrophe in queen. Okay, off you go then, year 5 and 6, and come back when you're ready, please. Okay, welcome back everybody. Hopefully your page is ready to go. Now the first thing you're going to need to do this afternoon is listen to and watch the Queen's speech. Now you could do that by typing in this address into Google, or, and this is probably the easier way of doing it, if you go to Google and you type in Queen's Speech 2020, then the first video that comes up looks like this. And if you click on that video, then it will play the Queen's speech for you. Okay, so off you go then, year 5 and 6. Enjoy the Queen's speech and come back when you're ready, please. Welcome back everybody. I really hope you enjoyed the Queen's speech. Now some of you might be thinking, what was she on about, Miss Dyer? I'm not really sure I followed that. It was a little bit confusing. But don't worry, we're going to have a look at it together and we're going to be thinking about how she spread hope through her speech at Christmas. Any ideas that we can sort of magpie for our letter. So I've got 4 questions to start off our thinking this afternoon. Now, you're going to have a go at answering these questions independently to begin with in your learning journal. And then we'll have a go at answering a few of them together so that you can see if you're on the right lines. Okay, so here are your questions then. What does Indomitable spirit mean? What is Diwali? Explain how fireworks during Diwali gave hope to people. Why did the Queen choose light as the theme for her speech? Okay, Year 5 and 6, so when you answer these questions in your book, please use full sentences that start with a capital letter and end with a piece of punctuation. Do your best to copy any of the spellings here that are correctly and that are here correctly, please, and use joined up handwriting. Okay, give it your very best shot. Remember, we were being explorers last half term, which was all about perseverance and determination. So I know you've got it in you to give you this the best shot you can. Okay, off you go then, and come back when you're ready. Hello again, Year 5 and 6. So hopefully you've had a go at answering these questions. We're going to have a look at a couple of the questions now together, and then you can have a look at your work and see how you got on. We're not going to do them all because I don't want to make this a hugely long video for you this afternoon, so we're only going to look at a couple. Now, we're going to start by looking at the first question. What does Indomitable spirit mean? Now, I had to do a little bit of research to find out what this meant, and I actually went onto Google and did a little check. And on Google, it was telling me that the Indomitable spirit is somebody that you admire for never giving up and for being persevering and being determined. So it's about looking at somebody else and going, wow, I really think you're such an incredibly determined person. That's amazing. I really admire you for that quality. I really look up to you. So, okay, let's just get the right. So, an indomitable spirit is someone you admire or look up to for being determined and showing perseverance. Let's just get my spelling right there. There we go. Put that a little bit smaller so we can all read it. There we are. So, an indomitable spirit is someone you admire or look up to for being determined and showing perseverance. So, I've used a full sentence to answer this question with a capital letter and a full stop. So, have a look at your sentence now, Year 5 and 6. Have you used a full sentence? Does it make sense? Have you used a full stop and a capital letter? Okay, now I'm just having another look at my sentence here, and I think I can be even clearer in this meaning. Something about look for being determined and never giving up. I think that's a little bit clearer. Okay, so there's question number 1 for you. Let's have a look at question number 2. What is Diwali? Now, I don't want to go back to the Queen's speech. I don't want to have to watch it all again to know and remind myself what Diwali is. So what I've done here for us, and I'll show you this again at the end of the video, is I've written out the Queen's speech for you here. Okay, so you'll be able to use this to help you. Now, I'm going to scan through and find the word Diwali. So scanning just means I'm looking quickly over the text and I'm just looking for that one word. Here we go. Now I'm just going to read around that word now to see if I can work out what it is. but we need life to go on. Last month, fireworks lit up the sky around Windsor as Hindus, Sikhs and Jains celebrated Diwali, the Festival of Lights. Here we are. The Festival of Lights. So Diwali is known as the Festival of Lights. Okay, so I'm going to go back to my questions now. What is Diwali? Again, I'm using a full sentence. I'm checking that I'm spelling Diwali correctly. It's not spelt how it sounds. Diwali is the Festival of Lights. Okay, so I've used a full sentence to answer that question that starts with a capital letter and a full stop. So have a look at your sentence now, please, Year 5 and 6, to see how you've got on. Okay, I'm not going to go through any more of the answers at this point, because like I said, I don't want this video to be hugely long this afternoon. So we're now going to move on to our thinking column. Now, your writing will be on your left-hand side of the page and your thinking column on the right-hand side. So I've just zoomed into the thinking column here to make it easier for you to see. And we're going to go back to this question that we looked at this morning. How confident do I feel about answering this question and achieving my outcome? Now, this morning I said I was a 4 out of 10, and I gave lots of reasons why I wasn't feeling very confident. Now, I am feeling much more confident this afternoon for a few reasons. So I'm actually going to mark myself now as a 5, or maybe even a 6 actually, out of 10. I'm going to stick to 5, a 5 out of 10, but I'm very close to being a 6. And again, I'm going to think about why. Why am I a 5 out of 10? Okay, well, let's have a look at a first sentence. And you'll remember the first sentence is going to explain why you have marked yourself as a 5 or a 4 or a 7, whatever it is you chose. I'm feeling more confident because I now know how to present a letter correctly. That's right, this morning we wrote a success criteria. So I'm going to add that in as well. Okay, I'm feeling more confident because I know how to present a letter correctly, and I've written a success criteria, and I could add a little bit more into there and say which I can look back at when I come to write my letter. Okay, so I've explained really clearly in my first sentence about why I'm feeling confident or more confident now. Okay. Now, I'm going to take my thinking a step further, and most people will be able to do this second sentence as well. And I'm going to link it to the gateway. Now, I know part of the gateway is making a good impression. So by presenting my letter correctly, I will make a good first impression to my reader, okay, which we know is important. And then I'm going to go on and add a little bit more detail. And I'm going to talk about the research that I've done, because that's helped me feel a little bit more confident. I've learnt how the Queen used her Christmas speech to try and spread hope using the theme of light. I have some ideas, words and phrases that I could magpie in my own writing. Okay, so I gave myself a 5 out of 10 in my thinking column. So what you're going to need to do then, Year 5 and 6, is start by writing this question into your thinking column again, and then marking yourself out of 10. Now, this morning I was a 4, so I'm definitely got to be more than a 4. So if you gave yourself a 3 this morning, you've got to give yourself more than a 3 this afternoon, because you know more than you did this morning. Then you're going to need to write a few sentences to explain why you're feeling more confident, and share some of the learning that you've done this morning and this afternoon. Okay, now I promised that I would end this video with a copy of the Queen's speech for people. So most people are going to stop watching now, and they're going to share their learning on Class Dojo with Mrs. PA and myself. They're going to go off and have a fabulous day. But some of you might want to look at the Queen's speech, and I'm going to show that next. Okay, have a lovely day, everybody. I can't wait to see your answers. I'm going to have a little look on Class Dojo and see how you've got on. Right, goodbye, everyone.